Alright, so today is, are you a Kid Buu player? And again, for people who are on the fence, do I want to learn this character? Do they fill my needs, right? It's not a guide on what the character can do in detailed explanation. It is more so more of an inner look of yourself, the way you play to match a character. For my opinion, the niche Kid Buu fills for players is that, one, he's a hard to hit character, right? He's small. This is the passive buff for small characters. They're hard to hit. Sometimes they drop out of combos and they typically shouldn't. So if you want a hard to hit small boy dude that's like fun size candy bar, Kid Buu's gonna fill that for you, right? Some people don't like to get hit in neutral. Kid Buu makes that a reality. Anyways, he has an unorthodox style when you play him, right? He's a heavy read and reaction based character. That is his game style, his game plan. I like to call it reactionary because there's things you can react to, but there's things you have to get a read for. And I'll explain that further down the line. What does that mean? That doesn't make sense. No, reactionary means you have an idea of what they're gonna do and you have the reaction ready, right? You don't just do it as a read, but you have a general idea of what they're gonna do. Yeah, or you can play the rat. Which one? There's a couple small boys. I'm gonna add this in. You're gonna have to censor me. My man said, do you think Kid Buu players drink the liquid glue or the glue stick? Bro, you have to be so fucking big brain with Kid Buu now. He's no longer ignorant. You have to be the smartest motherfucker in the room to have a chance to play Kid Buu. He's so hard. Like me and your mother. Anyways, moving on. Okay. Kid Buu's playstyle relies more so on positioning on the screen and knowing exactly what button to hit and where. He's pretty big brain. Believe it or not, Kid Buu is kind of big brain, but without the kinda. What I mean by that is, you know how he has 3M, 2M, and 1M? You have to anticipate your opponent's movement, right? You have to kind of get a read and react to where they're gonna go. So from full screen, you can do this, right? And convert off of it because of the way they gave him reverse beat after Ki Blast into 5M. It's only 5M. So he kind of has reverse beat in a sense. Now he's been power crept, but he's still a fun character to play. I know. Crazy. You have to know what button to hit, when and where, what to go for. He's not a character where you can just do stuff until it works. And I know we know some of those characters, right? Gogeta 4, Vegito, Labco. Those characters you could kind of just do things until they work. But for this character, you have to properly position your buttons, right? You have to know when to, 1M, 2M, when to throw a Ki Blast, right? When to do air beam. You never do candy beam. Don't make me pull up the clip where Sonic Fox does candy beam and then loses to, I think, Hook for doing candy beam. Lost the game or the set because they did candy beam. Roll the clip.
Jesus, he's adorable, man. You're adorable. Don't let anybody tell you different.
Oh, yes. That is why Cloud said you never do candy beam.
You never do candy beam. That's where the never do candy beam from Chris Matrix comes from. So moving on to Kid Buu being unorthodox, where he doesn't play the same game as other characters. What do you mean by that? What do you mean he doesn't play the same game? Well, there's some situations that Kid Buu is just not allowed to do. This is one of them. This is one of them, right? Most characters can do MLLH without any issues, right? The problem with Kid Buu is this happens, right? You can't do that. This is the most you can get reliably without any specials. Most characters in this game do this to staircase you back to the ground, right? Even though I crossed up, you're still blocking, you know? Most characters can do this pretty traditional. Kid Buu cannot. Some characters like to delay their strings. You can do this, right? It's pretty standard. Pretty standard universal situation in the game that Kid Buu cannot do because Kid Buu sucks. You really have to hit them at the right height, because if you don't, you're gonna have a bad time. And if you whiff, you're kind of in the air for a while. Where is it? Wait, can I not jump? Negative 54. Wow, almost an entire second. Okay, that's crazy. You're almost an entire second unsafe, which most characters half that. Legitimately half that. Roughly, right? Obviously varies by a frame or two. Yeah, Kid Buu, again, Kid Buu, if you like unorthodox characters that are kind of big brain, where you have to play with some reads and a lot of reactions, or read action areas, I like to say, Kid Buu's for you. He has very off-tempo combos to the rest of the cast, right? There's a lot of things about him are unorthodox, offbeat to the regular rhythm that this game has homogenized between a lot of the characters. You're probably thinking, show me an example. All right, easy. So you have combos like this, right? Oh, am I supposed to fast fall here? Actually, hold on. Yeah, I'm supposed to fast fall. So you're supposed to fast fall there. I'm stupid because you're supposed to fast fall. And then you dash up, auto combo, right? So he has a lot of off tempo, off rhythm combos. Same thing in the corner, right? He has this. You got the fast fall, key blast, delay some moves, do it again. If you mess it up, the mystic ball hits. So what's it supposed to look like is like this. It's not the typical standard, you know, some characters can just do. And they get damaged, right? Kid Buu can do this too, but he doesn't get damaged. That's the issue. If you want damage with Kid Buu, you have to go for these other combos. And it's super difficult, complicated combos. Require one of the more harder rejumps in the game. So you actually kind of have to lab with him. This is one of his harder conversions. And you're like, well, you did that second try. Yeah, because I played this character for a few years and I practiced this combo. That's why I was able to do it. Probably the easiest, more extended combo he has is his loop. Is this loop. This is probably his easiest. But even then, this doesn't work on every character in the game. This is character specific. So unorthodox, character specific combos. Unlike most of the cast, where their combos work on generally the entire cast. Kid Buu's like, oh, you can only do this to characters who are, I think, Super Saiyan Goku height and taller. But it doesn't work on Majin Buu or Z Broly unless you do a different variation. So yeah, there's a little bit of lab work with Kid Buu because he's so weird. And he has unique situations. So, huge problem, right, with Kid Buu in terms of like his tools and stuff like that. This is virtually useless. Ooh, Rain with the Prime Gaming. Thank you, brother. You're like, but it's a command grab. How can that be useless? Well, I say it's useless because if you whiff, you're gonna explode. It's -41. You can't vanish cancel this. You're on the ground, right? Whereas you have characters like Baby who go in the air, making it much harder to punish them, right? Especially in situations where, you know, I'm sure you've played a Vegeta or somebody who has done this time and time again, right? So you get the knockdown, right? You go for the safe jump. And then they wake up EX command grab and you're like, damn, I can't punish this because it was so fast and I wasn't ready. And it's frame 1 error invulnerable. Or, you know, if I'm Kid Buu, right? Here's what happens when I try to command grab somebody. Right? I'm still in the kitchen getting cooked. I'm still in the kitchen getting cooked. So this is what I mean by you have to be very specific and situational on his buttons. You have to know what you're doing a lot of the time. You can't just do something and expect it to work out with this character. Other characters who have good command grabs, you know, Baby on the ground, Vegito. I gotta be missing somebody. I don't know. I'm probably missing somebody else who's a good command grab like that, where it's air invulnerable, or even characters with frame 1 DPs, right, that you can call an assist after. That's an anti-air, you know. Vegeta Blue, you call an assist or whatever, right? Kid Buu doesn't have those options. He does not have those options. So you have to pick and choose when to strike or when to do what certain move. Oh, here's a tip, by the way, that nobody tells you when you play Kid Buu. So when you throw a Ki Blast with Kid Buu, let me just do this. So when you throw a Ki Blast with Kid Buu, right? A lot of people do this by when they only want to throw the ground one, right? They accidentally get the air one. If you hold, and I'll turn on inputs just for the sake of this example. If you turn on, I'll turn both of them on. Inputs and you hold forward when you throw Ki Blast, you won't get the air Ki Blast. So this helps with just doing ground Ki Blast over and over. So there's these weird little things with Kid Buu too that people don't really explain to you that you kind of have to figure out or hope somebody tells you. So yeah, most characters don't have to do this, if at all, because they don't have this. And another weird bug with Kid Buu is, let's see if I can do it. There we go. Sometimes if you try to do like S Candy Beam, for whatever reason, I'm not getting it right now. You'll get, there we go. I think it's depending on if you're holding a direction. Yeah, okay, if you hit down, or down back, after the first Ki Blast into beam, you'll get 2S beam. So these weird little bugs with Kid Buu you have to be careful not to get. What the input should look like is this: S, S, quarter circle forward, S. But if you do S, quarter circle forward, S, then down or down back, you get air beam. So he has a lot of oddities to him that you have to be aware of with his Ki Blast. It's weird, I don't get it, but I need to explain this to you if you're gonna pick up the character. Real quick, because I didn't say this. What position should Kid Buu be on the team? Point or mid? You could keep him mid because I forgot to say, oh, here are his assists, right? Obviously, his strongest assist is Kid Buu A. It gives literally every character in this game mix-up. Literally every character in this game gets mix-ups because of this. It's plus 59, right? Or if you want a more practical assist, right? Easier to use in combos, easier to just throw out, you use Mystic Ball. Plus 31. It's relatively fast, you know, 22, 23 frames. You could use it off of most situations. It's super simple to combo off of. Oh, I missed. Don't look at me. So yeah, it has a hitbox going down and going up. Much more conventional, right? Again, his other assist has unconventional timing because that's just kind of the character he is. Change the timing, it's faster now. There we go. So you would have to practice with your characters to get the timing down, but again, he's unorthodox. So I was saying, okay, command grab. I've talked about character skills, right? Because you kind of have to address some things like this just to cover base. These are useless. Out of super specific situations, like, I don't know. Your opponent does a bad vanish, right? You can command grab them. That's one of the super specific situations, right? They both L command grab too, where it's frame 1 anti-air. But outside of these situations, it's typically either going to be a hard read or hard read action. Chat be cooking me and my boy Kid Buu, dude. You leave my son alone. Don't talk to me or my son ever again. I'm wearing pink specifically for Kid Buu. Alright? Kid Buu awareness. It's A assist. Yeah. So moving on with this character, right? So the way to go about his awkward air conversions is you have to Mystic Ball. You have to. There's no other way to do this consistently because of this stupid button, right? The way it works. You have to Mystic Ball here. The beauty of it all is you get a mix-up. Well, not with GTA, because GTA is terrible. But with most assists, you'll get a mix-up here. So again, there's a lot of reads and reactions because you don't want to if you get the hit, you don't want to do this, right? Because you exhaust meter, you lose out on damage, right? As opposed to if you react properly, you can do this, you know. Again, just a quick recap because it's kind of what I do at the end of these videos, at least what I'm starting to do. He's unorthodox. What do you mean by that? You have to know when and where to place a button. You have to know when and where to convert properly off of what hit, right? They blocked it. Oh, I do get Mystic Ball hit that they blocked in the air. Oh, they got hit. I gotta do a proper conversion, right? Don't Candy Beam. If you can, again, skill check with Kid Buu. You always want to do beam, right? So you want to insta air beam. You don't want a Candy Beam, because the problem with Candy Beam, just to break it down for you, is there's only a hitbox on the tip of it. It's terrible. No, wait. Oh, I'm trying to jump over this. Yeah, there's only a beam or a hitbox on the tip of it. As with beams, they have a hitbox throughout the entire duration. See? The entire duration. Whoops. So that's something you have to keep in mind, right? Because this is typically a better option. Unless you want to get health back. We talked about his reverse beat, right? Again, you could be unique with his strings as well. Kind of like Vegito. But you can only go back to his M. And the thing with Kid Buu 2 is there's a lot of forcing your opponent to make a decision with him as well. There's a lot of, I'm trying to force you to make a bad decision, which is not really the way you want to play sometimes. Because the way his Ki Blasts work is if you, this is plus, but if somebody super dashes, right, you're kind of cooked here. Because it's like, oh, I'm going to get hit. Unless you do, you know, Mystic Ball, right? So again, there's a lot of read and reactions and read actions to Kid Buu that you have to be aware of. Red cancel. And let me just show an example. Right? If you try to do Ki Blast, you get smoked. But if you do Mystic Ball, or if you really want to play it safe and level 3 on reaction, right? And then there's like these, obviously he has, I would say more of a unique mix-up to himself, because he has Gumball. You can true string this, but afterwards you kind of have to know how to do the proper mix-up, the super jump float, right? So again, Kid Buu has a certain amount of skill checks. Kind of like, I wouldn't say he's a high execution character, he's like mid to mid-high. He does have a lot of weird stuff to him that you'll come to understand if you do try to pick him up. But don't let that discourage you, because Kid Buu feels, once you get started with Kid Buu, it's kind of just a snowball effect. You pressure your opponent, especially people that don't know how to deal with Kid Buu. They'll start to panic in the corner. Once you get them where you want them, Kid Buu is very strong. He's very satisfying. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. He's satisfying once you get started. But the hard part is getting started. So if you want those big brain plays and feel good about yourself being the shit ass somebody, Kid Buu's your man. Weird character, unorthodox, takes a little bit of work, a very offbeat character, satisfying for like 3K combos, mid-screen, sick. Yeah, you know, he's a high risk, mid reward. Unfortunately, that's kind of just what they did to him, if we're being real. I think they shot him, right? The Nerf Nation attacked, and they shot everybody through the ashes, as I freeze. Rose the Fusion Lab Coat meta. But the thing is they were much worse than this character, well, outside of season vanilla was. But that's for a separate video when I cover those characters. Anything you have to say, chat, before I close out this video? And again, if you got questions, put them in the description, or the comments below. I'll try to get to them when I can. And of course, character suggestions, I'm taking them. I saw some Kid Buus in there. GT Gokus. I think S Broly. Don't play Kid Buu. Don't listen to this asshole. Don't listen to him. Don't let your dreams be dreams. No, that pretty much covers it. So yeah. Again, just to reiterate for one final time, if you want a weird playstyle, if you have a weird playstyle, and for those of you that have a weird playstyle, you'll understand what I mean. What does it mean by that? Weird playstyle? I don't play weird. What? Yeah, okay, Teddy player. Sure. You don't play weird at all. Dan, you like Dan? That's crazy. Alright. Anyways, weird, unorthodox characters just fits your playstyle, but how they change Kid Buu. It wasn't so much like this back then, but with the changes they give him, he's more unorthodox now. It was kind of straightforward rushdown back then, but they kind of changed his archetype a little bit. Enough for me to make this video about how he plays now. Alright, again, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Deuces. Make sure you wear pink in honor of Kid Buu.